Yes, please come.
May I come in, sir?
Come.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes.
Good afternoon.
Let's go. Mohit Kasniya,
Yes, sir.
you're from Hanumangarh.
Yes, sir.
कौन सा मीडियम क्या लिया है आपने इंटरव्यू का?
It's English, sir.
English, good, very good. So you are from MNIT and you have done your chemical engineering.
Yes, sir.
So what did you do afterwards?
I taught physics for 2 years, sir, and then I started preparing for civil services, and I'm preparing ever since, sir.
So are you in job at present?
No, sir, not currently, but freelance, sir. I teach students who are preparing for civil services. So
In Jaipur itself?
no, sir, in Delhi.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So how do you find these students?
When I was preparing, I got in touch with these students. Like they were also preparing, writing their exams. So we kind of formed a group together and then started like studying together. So I am actively teaching like.
So what was your optional?
It's physics, sir.
Physics.
Yes,
as
sir.
optional.
Yes, sir.
Great.
Thank you, sir.
I also took physics and maths.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Physics is very interesting. So why, just tell me only one question, technical question I want to ask. Why at nano size, optical properties of the particles change?
Because the physics at the nano scale changes, sir. It is not the Newtonian physics or all the classical physics does not apply there. The paradigm that governs that particular phenomena changes to the quantum physics, sir, and there are different laws there.
So what do you mean by quantum physics?
When we deal with the discrete energy levels, there are quantas. We do not consider any spectrum as a continuous. When we see that there is discreteness in everything.
But what specific thing happens at that particular time?
Specific things, there are things
the particle start behaving
like a quanta, like discrete particles.
Discrete particles. So it shows the wave properties also.
Okay. Yes, sir. The duality.
That's why the properties change.
Yes, sir. Perfect, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
One of the scientists of IASC.
Okay, sir.
Not one team of the scientists in IASC. They have proved that superconductivity can be achieved at room temperature. You might have heard about it.
Yes, sir.
So what is that?
Superconductivity is a state where resistance is almost minimum. It's near to zero, and it exists at low temperatures such as 14 Kelvin, 20 Kelvin. Whereas the recent development has suggested that the complex compound, where there are mixture of many compounds, they have proven to show the superconductivity at some higher temperature such as 110 Kelvin and 20 Kelvin.
Why world scientists, they are not yet accepting this? That this has been discovered by IASC.
I'm unaware of that, sir.
You're unaware. Doesn't make any difference. Tell me, why is there that in our country,
yes, sir,
very small amount of money is given for research, the real research? Running a research institute is nothing, the real research.
Yes,
why
sir.
there is no money given to this?
The primary reason that I can think of is, sir, in India, the research, they want to sponsor something predictive. If they know that the results are certain, they will sponsor you. If you want to just research and you are not sure what you are going to find, you won't find any sponsors. Maybe that I can think of as one reason.
But once you know that this is what you are going to achieve, so there's no point of conducting any research in that.
Yeah, that's true, sir. But sir, sometimes these things are very time-taking, sir, and they drain out resources. So that is the reason that I can think of why people are not promoting research.
As in Hanumangarh, this canal which passes through.
Yes, sir.
That creates a lot of confusion because the water which is coming is containing a lot of dead bodies, very high amount of chemicals, and that same water is supplied for drinking purposes to the population.
Yes, sir.
So what is happening because of this there?
Sir, there is a problem of fluorosis, and Recently, sir, there are many diseases that because of the chemical presence in the water that have come to the surface, and anemia is also, sir, also a major reason.
One major disease, tell me.
Okay. So, on the top of my head, I can think of fluorosis.
Cancer.
Okay, cancer. Yes, thank you, sir.
Full cancer train. That's why this is one of the biggest cancer center is at Bikaner.
Yes, sir.
That is your division headquarter, right?
Yes, sir. It is.
So that
Thank
is
you.
very important point. But how do you feel psychologically that the water you are drinking in which with the dead bodies are floating? So how do you feel like that?
Sir, we generally use reverse osmosis technology to
That is okay.
purify the water.
This is okay. But suppose someone tells me that this is the pond, there's a tank, water tank, इसमें dead body एक आदमी की पड़ी हुई निकल रही थी, and इसको मैंने filter कर दिया, RO कर दिया, ये कर दिया, वो कर दिया, इसको पी लो. तो मतलब psychologically, I'm just talking about chemically it might be very good water, but psychologically it's very difficult to drink such water.
Yes, sir, it is. But the primary reason that I can think of is, sir, the people do not see those dead bodies by themselves. They just read it in the news. So the image creates more psychological pressure when you want to deter something. Just mere reading in the news, and when the government official says that it is safe to drink, and so they just comply, sir. The moment they see it by themselves, maybe that's where they will think of otherwise.
Okay.
You have mentioned in your deck, you've got some scholarship by name Chotu Ram. So who is Chotu Ram?
Sir, he was earlier known as Mr. Ram Richpal, and then because of his contribution towards farmer, his involvement with the farmer, he renownedly called as Chotu Ram.
You're talking about Sir Chotu Ram.
Yes, sir. He was knighted by the British government, sir.
So he is actually not Chotu Ram, but he is Sir Chotu Ram. He belonged to which state?
He belonged to Haryana, sir. Rohtak.
That time there was no Haryana.
Okay, sir. So
Haryana was not there.
Yes, sir. Punjab region of like
Erstwhile Punjab.
Erstwhile Punjab, yes, sir.
Erstwhile Punjab. Now tell actually his contribution. To which class of people and for what actually he was awarded?
He was awarded knighthood because of his contribution towards World War One. World War One. He recruited 20,000 soldiers for the British Army, sir.
It was basically his honest work, his honesty and social work. What else he did?
He was a finance minister, sir, in the Punjab government and provincial government. He managed to pass many bills which related to the debt
He formed a political party also. Do you remember what was the political party?
I believe, sir, it was the Unionist Party.
Yeah, Unionist Party.
Yes, sir.
And it was all actually in pre-independent India. Yes, sir. His contribution was more actually because it was not even before independence. Okay, we leave it. Now tell us, today we have the Civil Services Day. Yes, sir. And it is Sardar Patel's dream actually, the civil service for which you are aspiring to be in. Now tell actually what was his dream for the civil service? What he wanted from the civil servants, Sardar Patel? What qualities he had?
Yes, sir. He envisaged civil services as a binding force for the country, a unifying force that binds the country together. Because at that time, sir, there were many.
Yeah, okay, that is one.
Okay, and he popularly called it a steel frame of there are policies which needs to be implemented throughout the country, and he envisaged that the civil servant will be the one who will be doing that. So he thought that civil servants are the building blocks or will be the building block of the country.
What qualities in a civil servant which he expected?
That I unaware, sir. Like what?
That's the most important thing. Otherwise, how it will become a steel frame?
Vision could be the one thing, sir. Then I'm unaware, sir.
Okay, but I think you read about it. Now, you were actually associated with Abhinav Jan Chetna Manch. What is this?
Sir, it's a village-based NGO. And it's situated in my village. We generally work for the awareness of the local youth or the people.
So, what are the institutions at village level?
Sir, Panchayat is there, and like the very area which I belong to, there is a Panchayat, and
Panchayat is everywhere. Yeah, then government, yeah, government institutions. Yeah.
yes, sir. There is a government-run school. There is one college as well. There is a PHC center, primary healthcare center as well, in our village. There is one center like PWD center. It's a waterworks center, sir, to supply the water to the household.
Any extension officers, Gram Sevaks,
Yes, sir. They are the part of the panchayat. The Gram Sevak is there, sir. Second.
then Anganwadi, Asha health worker, midday meal. Now, which are the schemes which are implemented at village level? Tell us only most important one. Most important schemes implemented in rural areas, say at village level.
For my village, the most important scheme,
No, not only in your village, any village.
the Narega scheme is there, sir.
Yeah.
And right now,
It is Narek.
Manareka.
Then it's only one.
Jal Jeevan Mission is going on, sir, which is very crucial for us, sir. Area from which I belong to. And the midday meal program is running, sir, providing nutritious food to the.
That I told you, so you have to tell something new.
Okay, sir. Swachh Bharat Mission, sanitation drives are there, sir. And vaccination work was recently taken up by the Anganwadi workers and the Asha workers, sir.
Vaccination is not a clear, okay.
Ayushman Bharat, sir, primary health care center revamp कर रहे हैं, sir. And there is this training program for the panchayat elect people.
But very important scheme actually, which you are still missing.
Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana, sir.
Anything related to food?
Related to food. There was one Indira Rasoi Yojana, sir, in Rajasthan, which was there, sir. But
don't have this ration shops?
yes, sir.
Food distribution?
PDS, yes, sir.
Okay. Now my final question is, when you work actually in such a village level and you develop interest, why actually you come to civil service? Must actually, when you are doing good work, remain there. You have a technical actually degree. It will give you a job also.
So the civil services will provide me with the institution support, sir, that I am lacking there, sir. It will provide me recognition, and it will certainly enhance the trust of the people in me that I will be doing a good work, because I will be having the.
It will enhance the trust in you.
Yes, sir. It will.
That will come after many years when people will know you, your intentions, your work. Trust is not from the second day actually. You are in chair and people start trusting. That takes number of years.
Yes, sir. I've been working.
Tell us just only three things actually. Why this service for you?
Because of the recognition that this service will provide, the institutional support that this service will provide,
Recognition you are seeking actually. What you will give it to others? What did you give it to society?
Sir, I'll be working as a bridge between society and the civil services, because I know their problems from their grassroots, sir. They will accept me as their legitimate leader if I am in the services. They will accept wholeheartedly if I am planning something for them, sir. In NGO, I was doing the same work, sir, but the intensity would increase when I am a civil servant, sir.
Okay.
Mohit, this is your 7th attempt.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Since physics is your subject, base is mathematics. What is the probability you would clear this time? Because you are also teaching, so you would be analyzing it every day.
Quantifiably, I cannot say, ma'am, but qualitatively, I did good this time in my
All
main.
right. How many percentages wise, qualitatively?
Um, I think, ma'am, I would improve by 50 to 70% from the last year's score.
So are you telling me for 6 years you were only at 30% to 50%? 6 years is a long time.
Yes, ma'am.
How have you been sustaining yourself? Except for what you have taken now. How many years you've been there? 14, 15. No, 14, 15, yes? So 2 years.
Yes, ma'am.
So how have you been sustaining yourself?
I was teaching students, ma'am.
Yeah, that says 14 to 15.
That was a formal teaching, ma'am.
Okay.
Right now, I'm taking voluntarily assignments. I'm teaching few students, and there are other assignments.
So how does that help you? Teaching students at what level, what subject?
I teach physics, and then recently, after last 3 years, I'm teaching students with respect to this civil services preparation as well, ma'am. So I am earning.
Well, all right. Okay. Since you're teaching physics, what is God's particle?
Higgs boson is generally known as God's particle, ma'am.
Yeah. So what does it tell us? That experiment, where was the experiment done?
It was done in the CERN, Geneva, ma'am.
Yeah. So what does it tell us?
There was a theory propounded by the Peter Higgs that every particle, they acquire mass by interaction through a hypothetical field called Higgs. And when they discovered that there was this tiny particle present who acquired mass because of the collision between the two atomic particles, they proved that the Higgs boson does exist.
So what does it reflect on the history of universe?
That the universe was made up of the subatomic particles, that they all acquired mass by elementary process through Higgs field.
Start of the universe?
It was believed that the Big Bang was the cause of the start of the universe.
Yes. How many billion years ago?
If I remember correctly, ma'am, it's roughly 13 billion years ago.
That's right. You also appeared for the Forest Services, 2018. Yes. Let's talk of forest fires. Why is there an increase globally in forest fires?
The one reason that I think of is, ma'am, because of the global warming, heating.
What happens if there is heating? Because forests are green.
The leaves turn dry, ma'am, and because of the friction, they cause fire, ma'am. Okay. They erupt fire. Okay. And because of the heating, ma'am, when the temperature rises, the evaporation rate it increases, ma'am.
So what happens? You don't go and light a matchstick there, do you?
Because of the friction between the leaves, ma'am.
So it catches. And all right, let's come to India. Which are the states affected by forest fires?
Primarily, ma'am, Uttarakhand, Himachal Pradesh, and all the states where the tree line exists up to 3,000 meter, ma'am.
We have tree lining everywhere. So which are the other states?
There have been recent incidents in the Karnataka and Kerala as well, ma'am. So roughly 15 to 20% of the area is under the.
And how do they impact at the ground level?
Ground level, ma'am, there is an impact on the vegetation, on the habitation of the local people, and there are like other catastrophes as well.
What about the wildlife?
That's
That's one of the major things. Yes.
You didn't mention your own state. There was fire in Rajasthan also.
I'm sorry, I'm unaware of that, sir. Yeah.
Okay. What happens to the forest produce, the tribals?
During the forest fire, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, they are also affected. That's why.
So large economies in these states are disturbed. Yes, the tribals themselves are displaced. Okay, there is a phenomenon which was described as youth bulge in India. Why? What led to this term youth bulge?
If I'm understanding it correctly, ma'am, does it refer to the demographic dividend that the youth?
I'm not talking of dividend. I'm talking of bulge.
I'm sorry, ma'am, I'm unaware of this.
How did dividend come about?
I thought bulge in the population pyramid, when there is a bulge in between, that means that the middle-aged population is.
Youth is middle-aged? I'm talking of youth bulge.
I'm sorry, I'm unaware.
Okay, read on that. Youth bulge, and how very intelligently this government has converted into a youth dividend. Where is the youth dividend when there is such a high rate of unemployment? In which sectors is this youth dividend evident?
No, come on. Startups, the entrepreneurship, like
Startups are one.
okay. Self-employment activities, ma'am, the youth are taking up. The primary example that I can think of is of my village. They make these small toys and they are branding it.
So the traditional crafts are coming back. Okay, now there is a concept of freebies in every state. How is it impacting the overall economy?
There are bad consequences of the freebies, ma'am.
So you don't agree with the various policies of the government that there should be any freebies?
To extent, I agree that freebies are necessary, but it should come with the sunset clause, ma'am. Because if they are doing it in perpetuity, it will harm the future generation as well. It's not sustainable.
So then why are reservations continuing for 70 and more years? Those are also freebies, a kind of freebies?
I believe, ma'am, reservation is representation, related to representation. It's not a poverty alleviation program. Because many marginalized and many communities are not adequately represented, hence we need a reservation.
Are not represented where?
To the various echelon of the governments, ma'am.
Government is not the only sector?
Yes, ma'am, there are.
And so why reservations after 70 years and it keeps getting extended?
Because, ma'am, the purpose by which the reservation was introduced was the representation and the discrimination based upon the caste and the historical marginalized people.
So why has that not been eliminated so far? Given that the government has program education for all and the basic benefits are given.
The effect of the reservation was, ma'am, it has categorized people into the reserved and the unreserved, and the societal maturity of our country is not as such where this uniform solidarity could exist when there someone are given free hand.
Okay, my last question. Social disharmony or religious intolerance has been growing over the last few years. Do you agree? Not agree? Is it good? Is it bad?
There has been instances where we can say that yes, ma'am, the intolerances or the harmony, social disharmony is rising, ma'am. I agree, yes, ma'am.
Give one or two examples, maybe from your state or close by states.
From my state, I could see that there is a rise in the feeling of community-based thinking, like the feeling of outsider is being rising. Major reason that I can think of is unemployment, ma'am. Education is another one major reason why these things are rising, and there are certain immediate events which triggers such things, and things go here.
Okay, thank you.
मोहित, how is the जोश?
Hi, sir.
Very good. मोहित का क्या मतलब है?
सर हिंदी में it's मोह लेना and English enchanted.
मोह लेना या मोह जो मोहा गया है, जो मोह मतलब मोहित है,
जो मोह चुका है.
हाँ, मोहित हो चुका है.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
आप किससे मोहित हो चुके हैं?
I believe civil services, sir.
Civil services से.
Yes, sir.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm absolutely sure.
And you think the luck goddess is also mohiत on you?
I wouldn't count on it, sir, since it's my son.
Yeah, very good, very good. With जोश, why should you bring in luck? नहीं? You tell me your hand position. Are you comfortable with this?
Yes, sir.
और नहीं जैसे
थोड़ा पास में नहीं ले सकते अपने
मैं-
पास में आराम से बैठो
कोई और
इन-
तरीका
जो सॉरी एग्जाम में इसका कोई महत्व नहीं होता ऐसे बैठने का जैसे कंफर्टेबल लगे वैसे ही बैठना आप स्ट्रेट बैठे हो बहुत अच्छी बैठे हो पॉस्चर अच्छा है लंबाई अच्छी है सब भगवान ने अच्छा दिया है तो क्या दिक्कत ये ऐसे क्यों करके आप कितने लंबे लंबे तो उंगलियां इतनी अच्छी सुंदर सी अब वो उनको लेके आप और ऐसे ही बैठ जाते हो
I did it unconsciously, like.
नहीं अच्छी बुरी नहीं है
Training, coaching, school still. No?
ये कोचिंग वाले बताए थे यूँ रखो यूँ रख के बैठो यूँ रख के बैठ जाओ ये क्या अरे आराम से बैठो रिलैक्स होके
नहीं एक बात बताइए गिवन अ चॉइस हाउ वुड यू लाइक टू कीप देम आपको अगर चॉइस हो ये तो जैसे ट्रेंड है बताते हैं ऐसे करके बैठो आई मीन इफ यू वर गिवन अ चॉइस आई मीन हाउ वुड यू बी कंफर्टेबल
Honestly, sir, I'm accustomed to this thing.
Now, you are right, you are right, you are right. बड़ी मुश्किल हो जाती है. ये बताइए कि हनुमानगढ़ में, I mean, sorry, I have started in Hindi. Hanumangarh is over the recent past developed as a pharma belt. Yes,
To some extent, yes, sir.
to some extent. How and why? I mean, what is so special for all the way? वहाँ पे कोई raw material का वो है. I mean, what facilitates that trend?
To the particularly talking about Hanumangarh, sir, there are two regions where I belong.
Hanumangarh Junction.
Hanumangarh Junction, sir. Then their water availability, the river that flows from that area, it has ensured that the horticulture crops are there, sir. The cultivation of quinoa is very much rising, sir. And quinoa plantation, it's a citrus food, sir.
So it helps the pharma industry.
Yes, sir. Pharma or farmer, sir? I'm
Pharmaceuticals.
sorry, sir. I did not hear it correctly.
आजकल तो जमाना pharmaceuticals का है.
Okay. That I'm sorry, sir. I'm unaware that.
You're not aware of that?
No, sir.
Hanumangarh Junction is such big, right on the first page, right in the face of the panelists, right? Okay. Agriculture, that is again your family business, and chemical engineering, and Ayush. It sounds a very interesting, good combination, right? Now, in the middle of all this, the cow urine, gomutra as they call it, इसका relationship बताइए agriculture से.
Okay, so the cow urine is majorly used as I'm remembering the English word for khad. Sorry, yes, fertilizer. So that's where it is being used, and there are certain areas where it is being spread because they want to just ward off certain insecticides. That's also it is being used, sir.
Insecticide.
Yes, sir. We spray it on a few areas where we think that.
Is it in original pure form, or is it diluted, or how it is sprayed?
That I'm unaware, sir.
You are right. I mean, it's done and it's very effective, and helps what? And helps what?
Fertilizer.
No, helps what? A higher, bigger cause. Organic farming. Yeah, because pesticides and insecticides have become a kind of curse in so many states. So how it is sprayed? Diluted, undiluted?
Yes, sir. I did not see the.
तो आप लोग क्या डालते हैं इंसेक्टिसाइड के लिए? Same chemical? Huh?
Sir, I haven't made it by myself, or I haven't seen people making it. I've seen it, just they are it is being spread.
But your father is into agriculture, isn't it?
Yes, sir, he is.
So you haven't ever been onto your farms, onto your fields and seen it?
I have been to my farms and fields, sir. I've seen people spreading it, but I did not see how they made it, sir.
No, but as a chemical engineer, would you recommend this to be used in place of more scientifically produced insecticides? What would you recommend?
Sir, the data set for that I do not have, sir. The scientifically produced chemical, they of course they have their certain advantages. I do not have comparative data to assess these two, sir. So I wouldn't.
A lot of scientists, on the face of it, condemn cow urine and a lot of Ayush stuff on the ground that it is not scientific, right? It is not scientifically proved. Now, I want to ask you, I'm coming from the background of agriculture and having been trained into chemical engineering, has it ever been disproved, if not scientifically tried and tested? Are there any scientific evidence against its use in agriculture? You haven't come up. What about human health? Some people strongly recommend, and even Bollywood stars now. Earlier, there was a prime minister who would vouch for it, and they live really healthy. They have done well. The cine celebrity that I am referring to, he is one of the well-built and I mean, he's a health ambassador in a way. They vouch for it. What is your take on that?
I would say that I would need some scientific evidence. Being an engineer, I would need some scientific
No. Have you so far collected any scientific evidence? Have you
thought on that regard, sir. I would definitely look.
have you tried to find some scientific evidence?
I haven't, sir.
Okay, you haven't. Tell me, water shortage is all over. I mean, it is in the face now. Which is the sector which consumes maximum water?
It is agriculture, sir.
Are you sure? Yes, sir. Or industry?
It is agriculture, sir.
Agriculture? Okay, yes, agriculture. You are right. There is a very famous person from Rajasthan, repeatedly awarded an international personality, called the Waterman of Rajasthan. Yes, who is he?
Mr. Rajendra Singh.
You are asking me? Achha, you are telling me. So, बताइए वो, why is he famous? What are his techniques on?
He run this NGO called Tarun Sangh, and they started developing these small water harvesting things by using the water of the nearby rivers in the Alwar district. And they revived the agriculture there, which was not possible earlier because of the water deficiency.
What techniques is he using?
The one thing that I know of is the water harvesting. The river water they were harvesting in the small ponds.
And that results into what?
There was enough ample availability of the water, sir. So
that collected water.
Yes, sir.
The rainwater, you mean?
The rainwater as well as the river water, sir. They were like they were making canals, and then they were.
And what else? Quickly, what else? He has much major things to his credit.
I'm sorry, sir. I just know of this.
Okay, do have a look at that. My last question to you, quickly, since you are associated with an NGO.
Yes, sir.
You still continue to be with them?
Yes, sir.
What is your role there?
Sir, it's awareness generation NGO, sir. We talk to people, we tell them what they want to know or what they do not know, what are their rights.
No, what proactively, I mean, what kind of awareness you people spread? Counseling is second part.
During the corona time, sir, when I was at home, I saw that there was irregularities in the many of the KCC accounts, the Kisan credit card accounts. Despite of the rollover, the prompt payment was not given to them. So for 2 years, like roughly 40 to 50 farmers, I audited their bank accounts, and I made sure that they were given their due.
Okay. Relating to this, there was a Supreme Court ruling only just last week, few days back, regarding grants being given to the NGOs. Can you briefly tell me what is this ruling?
I haven't come across, sir. I'm sorry, I didn't read it.
Thank you, Mohit. Thank you.
Mohit, like you mentioned, your hobby is Bhangra.
Bhangra dancing, sir.
Bhangra dancing. So how often do you dance?
Almost every day, sir.
Every day? Oh wow, that's nice. I think that keeps you happy.
Yes, sir.
So can you tell me the instruments that are used in Bhangra?
There are, sir, many instruments, such as there are dhol, there is kartal, and then there are, sir, certain instruments. I know this name in Hindi. They use dang, and there are certain hand sounds that they made.
Okay.
Talis and all, different kind of talis for making sound. So majorly these are the basis of the music in Bhangra.
Okay. And Mohit, like you mentioned in your DAF that your father is a farmer. Do you think that the Indian farmer is reeling under a lot of pressure? And what could the government really do to increase the income of the farmers?
The big difference that I can think of is this, sir, education. They are still they are using the modern methods.
Like you are having how much land do you have? do you own as a family?
As a family, it's roughly 8 to 10 acres, but it's not documented yet.
Okay.
And
Let's suppose you want to help your father and you want to double his income. What suggestions would you give to your father?
I would say, sir, that he should go for the agri processing.
You haven't suggested him yet.
And the things are really hard to, like, when it comes to suggesting him, the way he is doing his work for last 30 years,
But you don't want to interfere in his work.
you can say so, sir.
Okay. And I just want a little information from you. Where are OBCs listed in the Constitution? Is there any article?
Yes, sir. Right now, after this amendment, the Article 338B, OBC is,
Which amendment was that?
I do not remember it correctly, sir. Maybe 103 or 102.
103 deals with the EWS and 102 deals with this giving constitutional status to National Commission for Backward Classes.
Thank you, sir.
And which article was inserted? Article 342A for the OBCs list.
Okay, sir.
Is OBC list maintained at the state level or is it maintained only at the union level?
It is maintained at the state level, sir. There are different OBCs in every state, sir, and then there is one list maintained at the central level as well for the OBCs, sir.
Okay. Are the states allowed to maintain a separate scheduled caste list?
I think they are not allowed, sir.
But with respect to OBCs, they are allowed.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Like you have been doing a tuition job.
Yes, sir.
What exactly do you teach the students? Which subject do you teach?
I teach, sir, basically the question that are coming in the JS3 paper.
Okay, you are teaching for civil services.
Yes, sir. The agriculture-based questions, the security-based questions sometimes, and majorly like how to clear prelims. Because I've like,
Why this coaching industry is grooming so much? Do you think there are flaws in the education system? That the people need to come and join the coaching institutes and they need to prepare?
I think, sir, coaching are the necessary evil, because it certainly provides you a platform where you are at a certain advantage than the others. Regarding the education system, sir, the new education policy is very welcoming in that regard, because it will provide enough impetus to the schools, to the teachers, to the students to excel from the very start. They are providing many avenues for the student to excel.
Okay, like from your DAF, I could see that you have taken this year's interview for CA PF exam. So, how has been the result? Has the result been declared?
Yes, sir, it has.
Have you secured any rank?
Yes, sir, I secured 110 rank.
So, you will be getting which service in that?
The service allocation has not happened, sir, but I can extrapolate that I will be getting BSF.
Okay, so can we call you as Assistant Commandant Mohit? Or should we call you as Mohit getting into civil service? So what?
I already secured the rank in the civil services last year's reserve list, sir. So I'll be joining the DANIP services.
But I don't find any kind of mention about DENIPS in this.
It was the reserve list and the DEF got filled before that, sir.
Okay, DAF got filled before that. And but in your DAF, you are not interested in serving as SDM in Delhi, but you are interested serving as a DSP in Delhi. Why that? Why that discrimination? You don't want to serve in general administration, but you want to serve in police?
Sir, I was already, like I said, in DANIPS, I was allotted in the reserve list, and I wanted one job where the actual more people connect would be there, sir. And that's why, sir, in particular area when it's raised, I chose the DANIPS as my preference. If this year's like the ring has not taken and I filled in the form, so I decided that I won't be going for DANIPS.
Okay, so this year you are expecting that you will get in the proper list.
Yes, sir, I am.
Okay, sir.
Thank you very much. This is our share.
आजा बच्चा सब बैठो बेटा
Thank you, sir.
अब देखो आप तो यू हैव ऑलरेडी बीन सेलेक्टेड तो हमारे पास ज़्यादा कुछ कहने को नहीं है. How do you feel about your interview?
थोड़ा नर्वस था सर. थोड़ा
हम्म
नर्वस था, क्लियरली कम्युनिकेट कर नहीं पाया.
क्यों नहीं कर पा रहे थे?
पता नहीं, शायद फोबिया है सर इंटरव्यू का ही.
Was it your first interview?
इट्स माय 5th इंटरव्यू सर.
5th interview.
सिविल सर्विसेज का कौन सा दिया?
5वां इंटरव्यू होगा
सिविल
सर.
सर्विस का 5वां है.
But that honesty was not forthcoming. When I asked you, what is the probability? You should have said, I have already cleared this exam. And this is where I'm placed. So, honesty is one of the major ingredients in a civil servant. Forthright.
अच्छा चलो अब ये बताओ कि 5th लास्ट टाइम कितने मार्क्स आए
146,
और उससे रह रहे?
150.
अरे इसी के आसपास आते रहे.
मैंने पहले इंटरव्यू में 182 थे सर, 176 थे, फिर उसके बाद में 150, 151, 146 यही नंबर.
और रिटर्न में कैसे आए मार्क्स?
रिटर्न में ठीक थे सर, 760, 765 के आसपास थे सर.
तो फिर इतना कम क्यों रहे, मतलब नीचे क्यों रहे पोजीशन?
नो आइडिया सर. मतलब इंटरव्यू में सर
GS4 में कैसे मार्क्स आते रहे?
GS4 में सर वेरी कर रहे हैं, मतलब कभी 100 अबव आ रहे हैं और पिछली बार तो 85 ही आए.
बस 300 में से?
250
250 में से?
जी सर.
ऐसे कैसे?
कुछ पता नहीं चल रहा है सर. GS1 और GS4 फ्लक्चुएट काफी कर रहा है. GS2 और 3 और
8 2 तो स्टेबल होते हैं ना, बहुत होते हैं.
फिजिक्स की वजह से दे रहा हूँ सर इंटरव्यू, उसमें ठीक आ रहे हैं.
पेज पे कितने आए?
मेरे कंसिस्टेंट 260 है सर, हर बार
अच्छा.
260 है.
अच्छा.
मतलब पिछले 2 सालों से वो स्कोरिंग शायद हो सकता है नॉर्मलाइजेशन की वजह से नीचे जा रही है, बट फिर भी 260 मतलब लगातार आ रहे हैं.
दैट्स वेरी गुड, वेरी गुड स्कोर.
कन्वे जरूर कर देना आप पहले, मुझे लग रहा है बोर्ड को सर, इनको कर देना चाहिए ना कि दैट ही इज सिलेक्टेड.
अब मैं बताता हूँ आपको कुछ चीज़ें, राइट. देखो, दिस इज ए वेरी गुड चांस फॉर यू, and in this chance you are having lot of josh and use that josh. You are from my college.
Yes sir.
And I was the first person who was selected from my college. You know, you might be knowing this thing.
Yes sir.
Okay, so remember one thing, you have to be very sure that you want to enter into the service because you want to become my man. This concept you will have to throw there. ये नहीं कुछ और बताना कि मैं इसलिए और कुछ नहीं है ना. वो पूछेंगे आपसे जरूर, क्योंकि आएगा इतनी बार आप दे रहे हो, क्यों दे रहे हो, क्यों आना चाहते हो IAS में, सिविल सर्विस में क्यों आना चाहते हो. दिस इज ए नेचुरल क्वेश्चन टू यू. तो उनको उत्तर देना है अपने को डिफरेंट. व्हाट विल बी दैट डिफरेंट आंसर? सर, बेसिकली आई वांट टू बिकम माय मैन फॉर द पुअर, डाउन ट्रॉडन and the people who are in trouble. And they will ask me, what do you mean by my man? What do you understand by my man?
सिमिलर लाइन सर, मैंने पिछली बार आंसर दिया था. मनोज सोनी सर का बोर्ड था, पहला क्वेश्चन यही था, व्हाई डू यू वांट टू जॉइन सिविल सर्विसेज. तो मैंने यही बताया था कि गांव में काम करते हुए 4-5 साल ही हो गए सर, उनके लिए कुछ बहुत बढ़िया हो जाएगा.
नहीं, ये नहीं चाहिए, ये ना आप इस पे समझे नहीं, आप कंसेप्ट आप समझने की कोशिश करो.
जी सर.
उनका बोर्ड था तो मुझे वैसे ही बता देते कि मैं आपको और बताता कि किस तरह के क्वेश्चन उनसे पूछा. सो कब है आपका इंटरव्यू?
इट्स ऑन 12th ऑफ मई सर.
12th ऑफ मई. अब आप ध्यान से सुनो, ये क्वेश्चन इस बार भी दोबारा आने वाला है आपके पास. आपको कहना है माई मैन बनूंगा. व्हाट इज माई मैन कॉन्सेप्ट, उसको अच्छे से समझ लो, बिकॉज यू हैव टू एक्सप्लेन इट इन डिटेल्स. माई मैन कॉन्सेप्ट स्टार्ट्स फ्रॉम द पॉइंट when someone is opening the door and coming to you. You are sitting here as district collector. He comes, and then he has the confidence that Mohit collector sir बैठे हैं यहाँ पे. I am 100% confident that he will put in his best efforts for resolving my issue. So this trust you have to develop with the common man. How will you develop it? How will you develop it?
I think sir, I'm social person, like I am approachable.
More than that, you don't have to be approachable. You should approach them. So what will you do? You will make more and more visits to rural areas. Sir, I want to visit more and more rural areas. And sir, my principle of life will be and is that whenever I will visit, I will never sit on the chair and table. Because in Rajasthan, whenever it happens, then the villagers come,
yes,
they
sir.
sit down, they have to take off their shoes, they sit out, they put their shoes outside, and there is already a gap created. Sir, they never open up. So their problems, they remain hidden. I will sit on the jajam. You know jajam? राजस्थान के jajam जानते होंगे? Jajam means the दरी जो नीचे बैठते हैं, इस पे बैठते हैं. I will sit with them. I will make them so much comfortable and confident about me that they will start opening themselves. I will take officers, and I have night halts in the villages. This is my life. This is what I want to turn into. So I will stay in the villages. I will observe their problems, issues being faced by them. And sir, I will certainly put in best of my efforts to resolve them. That's why I want to come into IAS. समझे कुछ?
जी सर.
Now is a logical connection. General नहीं बोल रहे अपन. पहली बात तो कैसे trust develop करेंगे इस तरह से. So first thing is first principle is that I will develop this. He should be feeling confident about me. How will he feel confident? Because I will be doing this. And then what will be the advantage of this situation?
Trust.
Trust will result into what? That whenever there is some problem in the village, or is there some issue in implementation of certain scheme, he will become my ambassador there.
Yes, sir.
He will be the first person to inform me. सर पता रहेगा, गांव वाले जानते हो आप राजस्थानी गांव वाले कैसे होते हैं. He will remember and he will tell you, सर ये गांव में ये गड़बड़ हो रहा है, कंस्ट्रक्शन का काम में, this is the problem which is happening. यहाँ सर इसने पैसे खा लिए सर, या यहाँ पे कम्युनल राइट होने वाला है सर, बहुत ज़्यादा परेशानी हो रही है. So you will come to know the issues and problems before your subordinates or police comes to know about it. Sir, this is what I want to become. And that's why I want to come to IAS. This is my dream. समझे कुछ?
Yes, sir.
है ना, डिफरेंट है या नहीं कुछ ये?
Yes, sir.
Now, second step. You go to your village. When did you go to your village?
अभी 2 महीने पहले जा.
2 महीने पहले. तो अब दोबारा जाने की जरूरत नहीं. अभी तो कब है इंटरव्यू?
12 मई को है.
12 मई. देखिए टाइम तो बहुत है. But what you do is just to corroborate this thing. Now, this second question will arise. इतना कुछ करना चाहते हो? अच्छा, तुम्हारे गांव की क्या समस्या है? अपने खुद के गांव की बताओ क्या समस्या.
हमारे सर पानी की बहुत बड़ी समस्या है, और मतलब जो नीचे से प्रोक्लेट होके आता है, सेम का जो पानी होता है वो बहुत बड़ी समस्या है. सैनिटेशन की बहुत बड़ी समस्या है, मतलब गांव में पानी की निकासी की. एम्प्लॉयमेंट की समस्या है, एजुकेशन बहुत ही मतलब अवाई सिंपली लो है. तो ये
So what you do is and गवर्नमेंट का ऑर्गेनाइजेशन भी देखे होंगे आपने. पटवारी कभी आता है नहीं आता?
पटवारी आता है सर.
आता है. और ग्रुप सचिव
ये सब लोग आते हैं, पर इनके सर कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग नहीं है उतनी कि ये लोग, मतलब जब मैं जाके बात करता हूँ तो आधी बातें समझ ही नहीं पाते हैं. तो पता नहीं वो कैसे रखूँगा उनके आगे.
So सुनो मोहित, you are lucky that you have done all these things once. You make 1 page note on each of these issues. This will second, because इसके बाद second question ये आएगा, और आप देख भी लीजिएगा, इंटरव्यू में फ़ोन करके बताइएगा हम लोगों को क्या हुआ था.
जी सर.
सेकंड क्वेश्चन ये होगा, फिर आप अपने गांव के बारे में बताइए. सो व्हाट्सएवर प्रॉब्लम्स यू आर थिंकिंग ऑफ और यू हैव ऑब्जर्व्ड, हर प्रॉब्लम का एक पेज बनाओ.
ड्रेनेज प्रॉब्लम नहीं
है. ड्रेनेज तो बहुत बड़ी. नहीं बोला
निकासी पानी की.
हाँ, ये बता रहा था ना, निकासी फिर ड्रेनेज. हाँ नहीं कोई नहीं. सो मेक 1 page note on each. First you write what is the problem, right? Secondly, what is being caused by that problem? What is the adverse impact of that? And third, which is most important, what do you think as a solution for this problem? Your own thinking, no manipulations, truthful. And it should be very truthful. Then this will be the complete answer, and this will change the whole interview of yours. Reorient हो जाएगा पूरा इंटरव्यू आपका. Then they will talk about सेम की समस्या क्या होती है, ये क्या समस्या, जिसके बारे में आपकी नॉलेज पहले खूब अच्छी होगी. So your interview will be focused on your knowledge zone.
पर इनके सर मुझे अंग्रेजी में शब्द ही नहीं पता है.
अंग्रेजी में कोई क्या नहीं पता है? बोलो किसके नहीं पता.
बहुत से मतलब ड्यूरिंग कन्वर्सेशन आगे आता है सर. अब
नहीं, जैसे कौन से नहीं, एक आप बताओ.
जैसे सेम की अगर कोई बात कर रहे हैं सर.
वाटर लॉगिंग
नहीं, वो तो ठीक है सर. अब जैसे उसमें जब एवेपोरेशन हो जाता है तो सोरा रह जाता है पीछे,
वो
वाइट
सॉल्ट सिंपल वर्ड्स यूज करो ना.
ठीक है सर.
After evaporation, lot of salts get deposited. Simple. Why do you want to become very complicated scientist there? Simple words. The soils, when the water evaporates, salts get deposited and the salinity हो गया, and then the soil becomes useless for agriculture. Okay. And then last point which you should write about your village and you should prepare about your village is implementation of government schemes. What is happening to them? स्वच्छ भारत में जो बनी थे शौचालय क्या यूज हो रहे हैं क्या?
हमारे सर कागजों पे ही बने हैं, ये बोलूंगा कैसे वहाँ?
नहीं, ये बोलना नहीं, मैं आपसे पूछ रहा हूँ.
नहीं बने हैं सर, रिमोट विलेज है अभी तक. सड़क अभी 5 साल पहले बनी है सर.
तो उन्होंने वैसे ही दिखा दिए होंगे उस बनने.
यही तो मैंने अभी पिछली बार पंचायत में ये बात उठाई थी, तो वही घना पढ़ लिख लिया, ज्यादा बोलने की जरूरत नहीं है.
Okay, so what you have to do is, so you first make note of one page of on each problem. So even when you come to, आपने देखा मैडम ये कितना बड़ा फेलियर है स्कीम, जिसके लिए हमारे प्रधानमंत्री जी और हमारे सबको पता है ना. आप कोई बच्चा देखिए, कोई भी नहीं बताएगा आपको. तो वो this is fact. So what you have to do is, sir, what is my observation that there are certain schemes which which have suffered lack of supervision. ये कहना पड़ेगा, which has suffered lack of supervision, and because of this the real results and outcomes in relation to outputs, ये लिख लो sentence, outcomes in relation to outputs, so they are not visible or they are less visible, sir.
Over implementation.
है ना. So output and क्या जोड़ रहे हो?
Outcomes in relation to output and
Output. That's very, very important concept I am telling you. That is the real problem of our villages. That's what you have to tell these. Don't have to go for traditional answers वगैरह, वो सब होते रहते हैं, वो सब आप दे चुके इतने साल. इस बार ये चीज ट्राई करो जो रियल ट्रुथ जो गांव का है. Similarly, make 2-page note. Make 2-page note on the problems being faced by Rajasthan. Starting from brackish water to non-fertile soil and all those things. बाल विवाह, अभी भी छूत की प्रथा अपने आप बहुत चलती है, ये आपको पता ही है इस बात का.
बाल विवाह तो बहुत होते हैं सर.
बहुत ज्यादा बाल विवाह होते हैं, अभी भी धड़ल्ले से होते हैं, ओपनली होते हैं.
बिल्कुल.
डावरी का ठीक है, डावरी पूरा एजुकेशन है, लेकिन डावरी करता रही है. डावरी तो हमारे ज्यादा हम बहुत दूसरे और राज्य हैं. मृत्यु भोज भी है, बट सबसे जो इम्पोर्टेंट है ना बेटा, बेटी वाला लिखना, जो बेटियों को
फीमेल फेटिसाइड,
हाँ है ना, दैट इज वेरी वेरी बिग प्रॉब्लम. तो ये 2-3 प्रॉब्लम है, इनको लिख लो और अपने विचार लिखो, मतलब थ्योरी पे मत जाओ इसमें. समझ रहे हो भाई बात जो मैं कहने की कोशिश करता हूँ. अगेन एंड अगेन आई एम टेलिंग यू दैट यू डेवलप योर ओन आंसर्स, यू हैव टाइम. और छोटे से बताएं, वो बहुत बड़ा काम तो बता नहीं रहे आपको.
वो कभी गए नहीं सर गांव के क्वेश्चन में 5 इंटरव्यूज में.
आप नहीं ले गए ना उनको, कौन ले जाता?
2 तरीके ना, या तो आप इंटरव्यू को अपनी तरफ खींच लो या वो खींच लेंगे.
आपको किसी ना किसी तरह से माई मैन वाला बोल देना है, बस किसी ना किसी तरह से लाना ही है इसको, माई मैन. और ये माई मैन कॉन्सेप्ट आप किसी भी चीज में ला सकते हो, और एक बार माई मैन कॉन्सेप्ट आ गया तो पूरा इंटरव्यू आपके कब्जे में होगा. दैट यू शुड रिमेंबर.
सर कैन आई आस्क समथिंग? जैसे सर ने वो गोमूत्र का पूछा तो मुझे नहीं आ रहा था.
नहीं आ तो क्या, तो नहीं आ रहा.
3-4 क्वेश्चन के बाद सर, ऐसे पिछली बार सर इंटरव्यू में एक सब्यसाची ब्रांड पे कोई क्वेश्चन था.
हाँ.
कम से कम 10 क्वेश्चन थे सर उस पे.
क्यों?
मुझे
एक बार मना करने के बाद भी?
यस सर.
नहीं, आपने पहले मना कर दिया था कि आई डोंट नो अबाउट इट?
बिल्कुल पहली बार में मना किया था सर.
फिर
मैडम थे वो कुछ बार बार पूछते रहे, इसका ब्रांड का ये पता है, ये पता है.
कहना जी सर मैं तो खादी पहनता हूँ.
मैंने क्लियरली मना किया, मुझे नहीं पता है. बट
ये बहुत रेयर होता है. आप
हाँ वैसे रेयर है. हाँ निकाल दो, ऐसे नहीं होगा.
आप इस एप्रीहेंशन को मत.
हाँ ऐसा मतलब बहुत ही रेयरस्ट ऑफ रेयर चीज है ये. जबकि हमारे जब ये आप जब यूपीएससी में इंटरव्यू लेने जाते हैं ना, तो एक वो मिलता है आपको, इंस्ट्रक्शन शीट मिलती है. उस इंस्ट्रक्शन शीट में बिल्कुल स्पष्ट लिखा हुआ है कि यू हैव टू हैव कन्वर्सेशन, मतलब बच्चे के साथ कन्वर्सेशन होना है. बच्चे का एग्जामिनेशन नहीं हो रहा है, एग्जामिनेशन तो कर करा के आ गया बच्चा, नाउ दिस इज द कन्वर्सेशन, सो यू हैव टू डेवलप ए कन्वर्सेशन। अब ये सोचो, मान लो कोई जबरदस्ती आपसे कह रहा है कि भाई आप तो इस ब्रांड के बारे में बताओ, अब कन्वर्सेशन में आप क्या करना चाहोगे? आपको उस ब्रांड से दूसरी जगह ले जाना पड़ेगा। डोंट स्टिक टू दैट कि मैं ये नहीं है, मैं यूज़ नहीं करता हूँ, मुझे नहीं पता, ये पता नहीं पता, ठीक है कर दिया आपने, बता दिया। बट जब आप बोल रहे हो मैडम आई एम नॉट श्योर अबाउट दिस पर्टिकुलर ब्रांड बट आई एम वेरी वेरी श्योर दैट आई विल डू दिस, वहीं पे पहले क्वेश्चन के अंदर, इससे नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन वो उस पर आएगा ही नहीं। फिर यू टेल अबाउट दैट, कोई किस चीज़ की ब्रांड किस तरह की यूज़ करना चाहते हो, आप क्यों यूज़ करना चाहते हो, टेल दैट।
जी सर, यही शायद मुझे लगता नहीं कि क्वालिटी है कि जैसे आप कह रहे थे कि
नहीं क्वालिटी
navigate
नहीं है, देख
करना।
सुनो, ऐसा क्वालिटी का तरीका होता है इसका। अब जैसे इंटरव्यू चल रहा है आपका, इंटरव्यू शुरू हो गया, इधर उधर के क्वेश्चन पूछ रहे हैं आपसे, पूछा कोई, किसी में भी आप माई मैन का डाल देना चाहते हो। और माई मैन ऐसी चीज़ है जो किसी भी चीज़ में डाल सकता है, ये कंसेप्ट बड़ा यूनिवर्सल कंसेप्ट टाइप है। वंस दे कम ऑन योर माई मैन कंसेप्ट, देन दे विल आस्क द क्वेश्चंस व्हिच आर ऑफ योर जोन।
जी सर,
समझे ना आप?
जी
सर
सर।
मैं एक चीज ऐड करना चाहूंगी,
करो
आप
आप।
बारी बारी रिकग्निशन को एम्फेसाइज कर रहे थे। अगर आप कहोगे कि मैं रिकग्निशन के लिए यहाँ आ रहा हूँ, दैट इज अ नेगेटिव
वो तो बता
thought।
जाएगा, रिकॉग्निशन
तो
तो बोलना ही
उसमें
नहीं
आप
है।
क्या बोलेंगे?
ये माई मैन,
माई मैन के साथ साथ आप बोलेंगे सर मैं ग्राउंड लेवल का आदमी हूँ, ग्राउंड से जुड़ा हुआ हूँ, मेरे जो काम है, जो भी मैं करता हूँ, वो ही मेरे लिए, वर्क विल स्पीक फॉर मी। आई डोंट नीड रिकग्निशन, माई वर्क will speak
रिकॉग्निशन
to-
देखो, रिकॉग्निशन से बात ही मत लाना। आप तो सिर्फ ये करना, अपने को डिवोट कर देना है, ठीक है ना? मैं माई मैन बनना
और जब
चाहता
इस
हूँ
तरह के
बस।
सब्यसाची के सवाल आए सर, मैं तो उसमें मतलब आई एम फ्रॉम अ वेरी हम्बल बैकग्राउंड एंड आई डोंट इंडल्ज इन दोज काइंड ऑफ ब्रांड्स। मैं तो सिर्फ सादा जो देसी है वो खाता हूँ और वो पहनता हूँ।
बस
ऐसे बोल सकते हैं।
हाँ
Of
हाँ,
course, प्यार से बोलना।
बिल्कुल धीरे से, एग्रेसिव नहीं होगा, धीरे से।
ब्रांडेड अगर पहन रखा होगा सूट तो
ब्रांडेड मत पहन के जाना
मैं
सर।
तो यही
आप तो सूट थोड़ी पहन के जाते होंगे।
नहीं, यही पहन के जाता
ये मेरा ब्रांड था, मैं तो टाई भी नहीं थी मेरे पास, तो
ये ठीक है,
मेरे पास बिल्कुल ये अच्छा लग रहा। आपकी पर्सनैलिटी इतनी अच्छी है, क्या कहाँ सूट वूट के कोई चक्कर में मत पड़ना आप।
चलो इतनी गर्मी है।
दोनों चीजें हाईलाइट जरूर करा देना,
हाँ।
असिस्टेंट कमांडेंट का सिलेक्शन भी और डेनिम्स का।
हाँ ये जरूर बताते हैं,
हाँ,
किसी ना
सबसे
किसी
पहले
में।
यही
किसी
जाके
नंबर
बोल,
पे ऐसे ही मिल जाएगा।
हाँ
सबसे पहले यही जाके
ये तो
बता।
बताना ही है, सबसे पहले बता देना जाते ही, ठीक है ना? जैसे इंटरव्यू शुरू होने वाला कि
पहले
सर,
2-3 मिनट में उधर मोल्ड कर देना कैसे।
हाँ जब वो नाम वाम सब पूछ,
सिलेक्शन हो
हाँ
रखी है।
जब नाम वाम हो जाए ना, उसका बताना कि सर आई वांट टू मेंशन दैट,
Absolutely.
बस डायरेक्ट आई वांट टू मेंशन सर दिस वेरी हम्बली।
सोनी सर शायद पहचान गए थे कि उन्होंने पिछली बार इंटरव्यू लिया था, तो पहला क्वेश्चन
इस
इस
बार
बार
नहीं होंगे वो।
नहीं होंगे, चेयरमैन है यार।
चेयरमैन
हाँ।
अब बोर्ड में नहीं होंगे
नहीं,
हाँ
शायद।
बोर्ड में नहीं, आपके बोर्ड में नहीं होंगे।
चेयरमैन
पहला
होता
क्वेश्चन
है।
यही
हाँ।
था कि डू यू लर्न एनीथिंग फ्रॉम योर फेलियर्स, बिना कोई नाम नूम कुछ भी नहीं पूछा, शायद पहचान के हो जाते हो, पहले क्वेश्चन यही पूछा और फिर ड्यूरिंग इंटरव्यू पूछ
ये तो
लिया।
क्वेश्चन बहुत अच्छा था। अगर मुझे ऐसा क्वेश्चन कोई पूछ ले तो पूरा इंटरव्यू तो मैं किसी और के हाथ में जाने ही नहीं दूं। फिर तो अगर ऐसा कोई क्वेश्चन पूछ ले, व्हाट हैव यू लर्नड एनीथिंग फ्रॉम योर फेलियर्स, दिस इज द मोस्ट लकी क्वेश्चन व्हिच कैन बी आस्क्ड। उस पे तो आप पूरा बोर्ड को, उसके पूरे बोर्ड को छका के रख दो एकदम। अगर ये क्वेश्चन कोई पूछ ले तो ये तो बहुत लकी क्वेश्चन है।
इसको इतना जोश मत दिलाओ, वो पहले ही बहुत जोश में है, वहाँ पे गड़बड़ कर देगा।
नहीं करेगा ये। अपनी देखो, अपनी गलती से सीख कर पढ़ने वाला, तो फिर तो आपको बहुत ज्यादा चीजें हैं आपके पास। कहाँ से स्टार्ट करते हो आप?
मतलब 7 अटेम्प्ट दे दिए, जब जाके सिलेक्शन हुई, मेहनत करते रहे।
नहीं ये नहीं,
नहीं
आप
नहीं, ये नहीं कहना, ये कहना मैं तो ऑलरेडी
नहीं,
सिलेक्ट
नहीं।
लिस्ट में हो गया हूँ।
नहीं आप ये बताओ कि जिस सिस्टम में
उस वक्त तक रिजर्व लिस्ट आई नहीं हुई थी सर।
कोई बात नहीं,
अब तो आ गई।
अब तो आ गई ना। अच्छा नहीं, मुझे इस बात का उत्तर दो जो मैं आपसे पूछ रहा हूँ। क्या बताओ?
गलतियों से सीखता ही हूँ
हाँ,
सर।
क्या सीखते हो? जैसे आदमी क्या सीखता है अपनी गलती से?
इम्प्रूवमेंट सर।
कैसे? जैसे
रेट्रोस्पेक्शन से पता चलता है कि आप लैग काम कर रहे थे, आप अपने आप को ग्रो करते हो 1% बाय डे। जब तक आप देखते जाते हो, अपनी गलतियां रिपीट मत करो, यू विल लर्न। रिपीट करोगे तो रीइंफोर्स करोगे।
बस अच्छी बात है,
ये
बोलो।
बोलो सर, गलतियों से सीख के 2 एग्जाम क्लियर कर गया हूँ, अपॉइंटमेंट लेटर मुझे
ये
मिल
भी
गई
करना
है।
हाँ, और ये भी कर
ये
दूंगा
शुरू
सर,
करो।
और मैं इसके लिए डिटरमाइंड हूँ कि ये भी
और
करूंगा।
अब मैं उसके ऊपर बिल्ड करना चाहता हूँ, उसको इम्प्रूव करना चाहता हूँ।
नहीं मैं डिटरमाइंड हूँ
हाँ।
कि मैं डिटरमाइंड हूँ, इसको इस बार कर लूंगा सर, इसको
हाँ।
मैं इस बार भी इसको भी
वो
निकालूंगा।
किंग सोलोमन वाला एग्जाम्पल ले आओ, मकड़ी
बस,
वाला।
हाँ
यस सर।
बस 2-3 सेंटेंस में जवाब खत्म।
ऐसे करो इसको, मतलब इसको ट्रेडिशनल तरीके से मत दो इंटरव्यू को, या आपको
के
इतनी अच्छी
गलतियों से
अपॉर्चुनिटी
सीखता
है
हूँ या सीख रहा हूँ, बोलो जी किंग सोलोमन की तरह हूँ, अर्जुन की आंख की उसके ऊपर टिकी हुई है मेरी।
मैं
ऐसे ऐसे
छोटी
दो
सी
तीन
बात
एग्जाम्पल
मैं
दो।
ऐड करना चाह रहा हूँ। हम भी बहुत गांव देहात में बहुत साल हमने गुजारे हैं कि मतलब हमारे मन में ना गुस्सा भी रहता है कुछ चीज़ों के प्रति। तो आपको अपना एंगर मन का आगे नहीं आने देना है, हम्बल रहना है थ्रू आउट।
जी सर।
ठीक है ना, बहुत रिस्पेक्टफुल। एक बात, दूसरी बात, जवाब जो है ना छोटे रखिए, लंबे मत रखिए। छोटे जवाब दें, दो तीन लाइन में दें। जहाँ नहीं आता है तो बोलिए सर मैं आई एम सॉरी, आई एम वेरी सॉरी, ये कर दूँ और ताकत लगा दो, आई एम वेरी सॉरी, मैं आई डू नॉट नो, आई कैन नॉट आंसर दिस।
जी सर।
ठीक है, ठीक है बेटा,
लंबे में थोड़ा सा
ज्यादा बोल रहे नहीं है।
श्योर मैम।
ठीक है, ऑल द वेरी बेस्ट। और गणेश जी के दर्शन करके आए हो नहीं आए हो?
उतना रिलीजियस नहीं हो सर।
रिलीजियस नहीं हो, दर्शन तो कर लेने चाहिए।
ठीक है सर।
रिलीजियस से वो फर्क नहीं पड़ता इसमें।
कहने की जरूरत रिलीजियस नहीं बोले सर, कर्म में बिलीव करते
हाँ, कर्म में बिलीव करता
जी
हूँ।
मैम।
ठीक है, ऑल द बेस्ट।
थैंक
हैं।
यू।
All the best.
Unacademy. Let's crack it.